Okay, good morning. So this video we will tackle about solving exponential equations and inequality. So the property that we will be using particularly in solving exponential equation. So we will have to recall first about this property. So actually, talking about exponential equation, it is different from what we call as quadratic function. Because from the quadratic function, it has the power of a number, but for exponential equation, it has the power of the variable. So what will be our focus in solving for exponential equation is that we want to find, or we are going to find out about the solution, solution of the given equation. But how do we solve for this kind of equation? So the property was, we have a to the power of x is equal to b to the power of y. Then we could say that x is equal to y if and only if, okay, so ito, if and only if, okay, a is equal to b, okay, a is equal to b. So remember that one. We can only equate the exponent x is equal to y if and only if the base also are equal, their bases. So let us have the first example. Okay, we have here, where we are given 3 to the power of 2x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so first, for step 1, we will have to write down 3 to the power of 2x. Okay, that is equal to this negative 1, or the constant will be transposed to the right hand side. So from negative 1, that will become positive 1. Okay? Next, look at this one and our property, or the property for the exponential equation. We can equate only the exponent if their bases are equal. Okay? But remember, in the left hand side, it has a base of 3, and in the right hand side, we have 1. And it has only a power of 1, because 1 to the power of 1 is 1. So what shall we do next? Because this one is 3 and this one is 1, we cannot directly equate the exponent of 2x to the exponent of 1 because they are not equal in terms of their bases. So sa itong haton, okay, let us recall about the property of the exponent or law of exponent in your topic, no, sa grade 9. Okay? That is what we call as zero exponent. If we have here, from your grade 9, if we have x to the power of 0, the answer is 1. Okay? So, maka-remember mo, ano man, accordingly, any number to the power of 0 is 1. But except 0. Because 0 to the power of 0 is, sa gani, undefined, no? Diliquidity. Okay? Define siya. So, except 0 lang. So, any number, pwede nyo yung of 10, pwede nyo yung of 5, to the power of 0 still, the answer is 1. Okay, mo man na yung ingon. Okay? So, let us have this one. Let us apply the law of exponent to this kind of equation. So, we have here, 3 to the power of 2x. Okay, instead of writing 1, we can write as 3. But to the power of 0. Because remember, 3 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, this one is just equal to the base in the right hand side. Okay? So at this time, maka-equate na rin tayo 2x and 0. So we have here 2x is equal to 0. After that, we will divide both sides by 2. Okay, we have here 2x is equal to 0. Divide the 3 of 2. Okay, dili po sa pikas, 2 lang yapon. Okay, cancel na rin eh. We have 0 divided 2 is, okay, 0. So therefore, in problem number 1, we have here the solution x is equal to 0. Okay, then how can we identify if our answer is correct? Then actually we can check our equation using our given solution, or the solution that we obtained from this equation. In what way? So ato sa i-check, no? Number 1, okay? We have here 3 to the power of 2x minus 1 equals 0. Okay? So remember, as we check this one, instead of writing variable x, we will replace that x by 0. Kulihan na to siya og 0, no? Okay, mag-check naman ta na naman solution. X is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, we have here 3 to the power of 2 times 0 minus 1 was 0. Okay? After that, simplify. We have here 3 to the power of 2 times 0 is 0 minus 1 was 0. Then we have here 3 to the power of 0. At this one, our property or the law of exponent, 3 to the power of 0 is 1. So we have 1 minus 1 is equal to 0, or 0 is equal to 0, which is correct. Therefore, the solution is, in problem number 1, we have x is equal to 0. Okay, let us have the second example. This one is about solving exponential inequality. Okay, we're given 4 raised to the power of 2x minus 1 greater than 1. Okay, we have here example number 2. The same property that we will be using for number 2, because in the left hand side we have the base of 4, and in the right hand side we only have 1. So the property is the zero exponent can be applied in this problem. No? So we have here 4 to the power of 2x minus 1 greater than 1. Instead of writing 1, we will write in here, so it's not 4. No? But ang iyang exponent nito is 0 na. No? Unlike sa first, once siya, it has an exponent of 1. Pero sa ikaduha, we have 4 to the power of 0 because it's still equivalent to 1. Marihan ang silang 1. Then we can now equate their exponent. The equal naman nilang base. We have here 2x minus 1 is greater than 0. Okay. After that, transpose this constant to the right hand side. We have here 2x from negative 1 that will become positive 1. Then dividing both sides by 2, x now is greater than 1 half. Divided into 2, x now is greater than 1 half. So what will be the solution set? Okay? Yung solution set na yun, remember x is greater than 1 half. So those number na dako pa sa 1 half. So may dako pa sa 1 half. Example, kani, dako ko ni sa 1 half. Dako pa ni sa 1 half, no? So dili, no? Kabalo ta sa may dako, sa may mga dako pa sa 1 half, no? Those number which are greater than 1 half. So how do we write down the solution set? Okay? Hamon ni padulong iyang solution set. Okay? If we're going to use the real number line, okay, ang real number line ito mong para mas dali. No? If you have here 1 half, there is 1 half greater than 1. So from 1 half, from number greater than 1 half to positive infinity. So there is only, okay, circle. No? It means that when x is 1 half, that is excluded in the solution, meaning wala sila labot, dapat takupan. So patulungan to, no? Padulong sa positive infinity. No? Ika sa 1 half. Kaya dili man siya pwede nga gamay pa sa 1 half, no? Dapat ako pa daw sa 1 half. Okay? Let us proceed now to about for graphing exponential, okay, graphing exponential function. Okay, so we are done about these two examples, solving exponential equations and solving or inequality, no, exponential. So sa graphing na punta, okay, so we have here graphing exponential function. So actually, in graphing exponential function, it is the same as we graph linear function. We can assign table of values for us to identify easily what are the corresponding points as we plot that one in the rectangular coordinate system. No? So, kung remember mo itong rectangular coordinate system, katong na xy, no? X is referring to the horizontal line and y for the vertical line. No? Kinsa ganitong proponent? Kinsa ganitong proponent sa rectangular coordinate system? Isa to si Rene Descartes, no? Ang uban mabasa to kay Rene Descartes, no? Sa una binatong si Rene, pero Rene Centillas, no? Rene Descartes day, or Rene Descartes, no? So we have here graphing exponential function. Let us have an example for this one. If we say we have the given f of x is equal to 2 times 2 to the power of x. Okay? So we have here the first one, 2 to the power of 2, or we have 2 times 2 to the power of x. So how do we graph? But this one, we can assign values, no? Dapat po, mas sada nga mas equal ang left ug ang right hand side. Meaning, those number to the left of 0 and those number to the right of 0. Okay? So, in here, we will start with negative 2 to positive 2. Pwede ka mag-assign ng mga values ani. As long as you could easily identify about the horizontal asymptote of the given function. Okay? So, let us have, or let us make a table of values for this equation function. So, we will start with negative 2. We have negative 1, 0, and we have positive 2. After that, for f of x, this one, okay, we can obtain this one by using the our number that we have been assigned from x. No, we have negative 2 to positive 2. Okay, first we will start with x is equal to negative 2. If x is negative 2, we have here f of negative 2 that is equal to 2 times 2 to the power of negative 2. Okay, this one, remember always, we have here negative exponent. And we cannot simplify that one directly. So, atong maniton is katong law of negative exponent. Example, sa iyang property, example, if you have your x to the power of negative n, that is equal to 1 over x to the power of n. So, ina na lang, bantayan lang ito nato perminti, no? Balik-balik lang tatong laws of exponent in your topic sa algebra. Okay? So then, simplify, we have here 2. Negative man yung exponent, so may siya 1 over 2 to the power of 2. Okay? After that, you have here 2 times 1, you have 2. You have 2 to the power of 2 is 4. 2 divided 4 is 1 half, or that is equivalent to 0.5. Okay, so dili ay 0.5. Next, what about when x is equal to negative 1? Okay, when x is equal to negative 1, the same nga po ng function, f of negative 1 is equal to 2 times 2 to the power of negative 1. Then, applying the law of exponent for negative, we have 2 times 1 over 2 to the power of 1. Okay, and this is positive. Then we have 2 times 1. Okay, palito din sa side. We have here 2 times 1, we have 2 over 2 to the power of 1 is 2. Okay? Then 2 over 2 is 1. So when x is negative 1, y is positive 1. Okay, let us proceed now with x is equal to 0. When 0 is delay, then we have f of 0 is equal to 2 times 2 to the power of 0. Then we have 2. Then 2 to the power of 0, 0 exponent, we have here 1. Okay, then 2 times 1, we have 2. So we have x is equal to 0, then we have y is equal to 2. Okay? What about when x is equal to positive 2? The last one. Then we have f of 2 is equal to, we have 2 times 2 to the power of 2. Then, simplify, we have 2 to the power of 2 is 4. After that, 2 times 4, we have 8. Okay, so we have here 8. For the for the x-axis, we only have 2, from negative 2 to 2, but for the y-axis, we have 0.5 to positive 8. So let us now draw the graph of these given values. Okay, so delete them aside. Okay, so from negative 2 to 2, we have 1, 2, we have negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, then we have here positive 2. Si babaw na yun, no? May positive man. Walang may negative values ni y. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7. Then last, we have here 8. Nakibabaw si 8. So first, we have here the value negative 2 and 0.5. So when x is negative 2, the value of y we have 0.5. So this is 1 and 0.5 and this one, no? So there is 0.5. Next, with x is negative 1 and we have positive 1. Negative 1 and positive 1. So there is yung side. After that, we have here when x is 0, 2 si y, 1, 2. Then when x is 1, when x is 0, then we have with x is 2, we have 8. Okay, 2, then we have here 8. Actually, wala na ito nabutang diri sa 1, no? We started negative 2, negative 1, 0. Wala na ito nabutang si 1. Okay? What about when x is 1? Nabutang mo na ito when x is 1. Wala na ito na solve. No? So what about when x is equal to 1? Tumagan ito isang point para balance. No? So we have f of 1 is equal to 2 times 2 to the power of 8 to the power of 1. Then we have here 2 times 2, that is equal to 4. Kaya pag-isbog ni gamay, no? So this is 1, and this is 4, this is 2, and this is 8. Okay? So with x is 1, we have y is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is yung side. Then, we will connect that points. So this is a straight line, no? So the graph of this function, okay, f of x is equal to 2 times 2 to the power of x. It's look like this one. Remember in the last part, sa left-hand side, this line will not actually touch it, or it will not touch to the x-axis because the horizontal asymptote of this given function is y equals 0. So, dili sa pwede diri mag-touch diri sa x-axis. Okay? So, if we're going to compare okay, the exponential function and the linear function, for the linear function actually, we can describe that one, no? Kung sa ako ang tinuod na kinabuhi, no? Linear function will refer to our basic needs, no? Kanang mga kinahanglanon nato adlaw-adlaw, pero ang exponential function it refers to our or the population, kanang sa pagtubo sa population. Ang population will grow exponentially, but the linear function will grow of course, linearly ang basic. Linear, it will grow linearly. So, ito yung kinabuhin, no? So, this one, on yung graph, we have negative 2, then 0.5, negative 1, positive 1. Then we have 0, positive 2, positive 1, we have here 4. The last one, we have 2, then we have y is 8. Okay? Let us have another example. Ano pa dulong? Okay, we have here finding the domain, range, intercepts, zeros, and asymptote of the following exponential functions. Okay. Okay, so we will proceed now to finding the domain, the range asymptote, and intercept of the exponential function. Okay, so suppose we are given a function f of x is equal to a times b to the power of x plus h. Okay, so this one a is referring to the coefficient of b, or b to the power of x, then b is the base, x is the exponent, then we have here plus h. H in here is referring to the horizontal asymptote of the exponential function. Okay, so to find the domain, actually the domain of the exponential function is the set of real numbers. No? Ano to Fermi, ha? Kasi yung domain is the set of all real numbers. Okay? Ang isya na symbol is real number. The set of all real numbers. Okay? Then we have here for the range. Okay, for the range code, when a is greater than 0, therefore the range is at a from h to positive infinity. Okay? Then for a is less than 0, then the range now is from negative infinity to h. Okay, how can we identify this one? Remember, when we get a is greater than 0, atong mga number nga dapat pa sa 0, no? Pwede si 1, pwede si 0.5, padulong sa positive infinity. When a is less than 0, dilibot pasabot nga pagkasunat nga mas gamay si a, dapat may si 0, no? A is less than 0. Kung pasabot, a is less than 0, those numbers which are negative, no? Mga negative numbers, mga gamay pa na sila ni 0. Okay, let us have an example for finding the domain and the range, no? Using this property. Okay, we have here example. We have f of x is equal to 2 times 6 to the power of x minus 1 plus 2. Okay, how do we find the domain? Okay, so let us start now. 2 times 6 to the power of x minus 1. So first, the domain is the set of course, the set of real number. Ayan, domain. Sa iya din range. Okay, sa iya din yung range na yun. Look at the given function. Okay, we have here the coefficient of this 6 to the power of x minus 1 is we have 2. And this is positive. Therefore, a is greater than 0. Because a is equal to 2, follows that a is greater than 0. So the first property for the range can be applied for determining the range of this given function. So that is, and remember, we have here, walay plus din nga any number. Means that the horizontal asymptote or h is equal to 0. So, meaning meaning from 0 to positive infinity. So, mo na si range. Next, we have here the asymptote, of course. Na-mention na nato, no? Okay, so yung asymptote na ni y is equal to h or y is equal to 0. Okay, next, we are asked also to identify the intercept, no? The young intercept. If you could still remember about intercept, okay, in your grade 7 or in your grade 8, talking about intercept, so meaning we are asked to find the x and y intercept. So for x intercept, we let y be equal to 0 for us to solve the remaining variable. Then for the bali-bali na sila kung mag-x-intercept, y is 0. Then for x-intercept, for y-intercept, x is equal to 0. Meaning, baino-baino na sila. Okay? So we have here, for the exponential function actually, it has, remember always that there is no y-intercept for the exponential function. Okay, only for x-intercept. No? Y-intercept. Wala siya x-intercept, pero nasa y-intercept. So we have here y-intercept. Okay, we let x be equal to 0. After that, we can solve now using this given function. Fx is equal to 2 times 6 to the power of, we have here x to the power of negative, we have to the power of x minus 1. Remember that x is 0, so we have 0 minus 1. Then we have 2 times, so not multiply this 1, 2 times 6 directly because we will follow about the PEMDAS, no? Naman sa exponent, so exponent ang unahon. 0 times negative, 0 minus 1, we have negative 1 as the exponent of 6. Then to simplify using the law of negative exponent, this will become 2 times 1 over 6. Then 2 times 1, we have 2 over 6. 2 divided 6 is we have here 1 over, okay, 1 over 3. Now, bilang mo ng 1 over 3. 0. Okay, 0.33, no? Or 0.33. Therefore, the y-intercept is at point 0 and 0.33. Kasi maligtad din yung sulat, no? Remember, the coordinate is xy, no? Not yx, but xy. So we will write first the value of x, which is 0, and followed by the value of y, which is 0.33. So we have here 0.33. Okay, let us have another part of our lesson. Let's proceed now. Okay, this one, we have here finding or identifying the solution set of the logarithmic equations. Okay, so actually there are only 4 property in solving logarithmic equations. Let us try to recall first those properties. No? Okay, so let us proceed now to solving logarithmic equation. So we have here, before that, let us recall about some properties of the logarithm. Okay, okay. The first property we have here log of xy to the base a. Actually, that is just equal, for to simplify that one, that is just equal to log of x to the base a plus log of y to the base a. Okay, first property. Second one, if we have here log of ax, x minus y, or we have log of x over y to the base a, that is just equal to log of x to the base a minus log of y to the base a. The third one, okay, the third property for the logarithm, we have here that is talks about the exponent. No, if you have here log of x to the base n, to the power of n, rather to the base a, that is just equal to log of or n log of x to the base a. Dali lang na yun yung property, no? Kung nasa yung mga problem ganing ano, ibalik nyo silang original, no? I-multiply mo. Example, parehas aning problem kani, no? Number 2. Log of negative 4 to the base 2 plus log of x plus 1 to the base 2. The property is from number 1. Tama? Just multiply this quantity, negative 4 and x plus 1. Pwede na wala ko nimo sila to when you solve. Pwede sila. And just equate these quantities to the right hand side which is x. No? So let us have to apply this property in solving for logarithmic equation. So we have here number 1. Now number 1. Okay, we have here, actually, lago na na, no? Mura nag-solve ano yung algebra. Ni, at yung i-equate nyo silang buwan, no? As long as the same ang ilahang base. So we have here, x plus 1 is equal to 2x plus 5. The same na actually lang property ng ma-equate man. Parehas naman lang base. Remember always the property for the exponential. Kung parehas sila base, meaning na-equate na natin ilang exponent. So we have here x plus 1 is equal to 2x plus 5. Then solving for x, we have here 1 minus 5. So we will have 1 here. Then from positive 5 that will become negative 5. Combining the constant, no? Combine ang mga constant na we have here 2x. Then from this one positive, that will become negative x. Then solving for x, negative 5, negative 4 now is equal to x. For x is equal to negative 4. They are just equal. No? Then this one is our solution. Let us have this one, number 2. Log of negative 4 to the base 2 plus log of this quantity x plus 1 to the base 2 is equal to log of x to the base 2. So the property that we will be using is the first one. No? Kay times man. A plus man rin. So ibalik ko siya times. So may isa log of negative 4 times the quantity of x plus 1 to the base 2 is equal to log of x to the base 2. Okay, pareha sila. So we can equate this one. No? So we have negative 4 times x plus 1 is equal to x. Okay? Then, using this distributive property, we have negative 4 times x, negative 4x. Negative 4 times 1, we have negative 4 is equal to x. Combining like terms, this will become negative 4x. From positive, that will become negative x. Then from negative 4, when we transpose that one to the right hand side, we have positive 4. Okay? Then solving or combining like terms, can you see go combine ito, negative, addition of like sign number, negative 5x now is equal to 4. X now is equal to, by dividing it both sides by negative 5, x now is negative 4, 4 over 5. Okay, ano lang, no? So yun na, basta bantayan lang ninyo ang property sa pag-apply. I hope this video will help you in answering your activity, particularly in exponential and logarithmic